All right, so let's talk about editing and polishing for Model 5. So this is where we, of course, we're going to get a bit practical. That there's going to be like a mini, basic video editing practical that we're going to have, or practicals rather, right? So I want you to look forward to that. But currently, we are going to be talking about editing and polishing, right? Right? So we're going to be talking about the video editing, how to polish and edit your video content as someone who is just beginning, right? As someone who is a beginner video editor. Now remember that the whole essence is not for you to be a pro video editor, it's for you to understand the basics. When you understand the basics of video editing, trust me, you can fly from there. Video editing is one skill that anybody can learn once they pay attention to the basics. And for me, I do not call myself a professional video editor, but I'm good enough to be able to create content for my clients, be able to edit video content for myself. And it has been really rewarding. I think video editing alongside design skills is one of the things that, alongside graphic design or design, is one of the things that everybody should know how to do. So in this model 5, I'm going to be showing you I'm going to be talking about understanding video editing. Remember, we're dealing with the basics. We're dealing with you understanding the foundations, the principles, so that when you start creating content, you can be more confident editing your content because you know these things that will help you thrive. All right. So understanding video editing in content creation. Right, when you are creating content, if you're someone who's given to creating video content, you would have to learn video editing. Now, we said here that video editing is the process of manipulating and rearranging video clips to create a final product. The whole idea of video editing is to manipulate and rearrange video clips to create a final product. So it's not just about, putting random videos together. It has to have like a certain form of narrative. What does that mean? Like every cut, every piece you're putting together must contribute to the overall narrative of that content. And that is super, super important because that is what keeps us engaged and that is what makes us make sense of what you have, put out there. All right. So, real quick, because this is going to be very brief, so that we can get into the nitty gritty part of doing a basic video editing, you need to have the mindset of a video editor. So, while you may not be a pro video editor, you need to have key things. Number one is the right mindset. If a pro video editor is always thinking about how best can his video how best can the project is working on come out, like how can he improve on what he has done, how can he create quality or an excellent work. So if you're going to be someone who's going to be editing your videos or editing other people's videos for social media, you have to think in terms of, you know how can I infuse creativity? How can I pay more attention to details to ensure that the work I'm doing comes out well? Remember, it's not just about putting out content. How you put out content and the kind of content you put out also contributes to your overall success as a content creator. So you need to have the right mindset. Storytelling is key. So each cut should contribute to the narrative. I mentioned that already, right? It is very important that you also have patience and you keep practicing when it comes to video editing. Patience and consistency allow you to refine your skills over time. Trust me, you get better over time. You just need to apply and start with the basics and you keep getting better and and if you embrace creativity and pay attention to details, you will see that your your video editing skills would be great before you know it in no distant time. Trust me, you have to first of all be able to enjoy the process because trust me, video editing takes a lot of your time and it will take a lot of your mind. You are going to be looking at the video like what next, what can I do? How do I piece things together? How do I manipulate the features inside the video editing app to create what I want to create? There's a whole lot to it, trust me. Now, speaking about video apps, right? What is the right mobile editing app? Right? So there are no right mobile editing apps, but I would recommend a few. First of which is CapCut, VN Video Editor, in short, KineMaster, Adobe Premiere Rush rather, right? But if you tell me which one is ideal for someone who is just starting, I mean, it's not even just someone who's starting. Which one is ideal? as a content creator who wants to create content on social media or create content on social media platforms, I would recommend CapCut because CapCut has a very friendly interface, easy to use, easy to navigate, and most importantly, it will definitely give you a semblance of results that a pro editing software would give to you. CapCut has so much, you can do so much on CapCut, it's unbelievable, right? So I would definitely recommend CapCut. So choose the one that best suits your editing style and needs. Most of these have most of these apps have free versions with powerful tools to get started. So CapCut has just recently upgraded to pro, but it wasn't always pro, right? Before, but regardless, I'm telling you that if you decide to upgrade your CapCut to Pro, it is worth it. It is definitely worth it. There's some content that I edited by CapCut. You'll be shocked that it was CapCut that it was edited in. Why? Because of how professionally looking and the quality of effects that CapCut has is just mind blowing. The next one after that would be InShot. InShot would be the next, mobile video editing app that I would recommend, right? And because we're really streamlining to mobile video editing app, that is why even for the practical, I decided to, do a mobile video editing tutorial instead of using the desktop CapCut. The desktop CapCut software. I figured that most people would be using mobile, and it just makes sense for me to attempt to use mobile to show you around CapCut and show you how to do some basic video editing and some basic cuts here and there. So if you're using mobile, or if you're someone who wants to take content creation seriously, you need to master CapCut or at least master InShot. But CapCut in this day and time is something that you need to pay attention to. So, what are some of the video editing basics out there? The first step in video editing is importing and organizing your footage. That's the first thing first, right? Now, when you take your raw video footage, it's usually messy. It has a lot of errors. There's a whole lot of mistakes here and there. So, the first thing you want to do is import and organize, and that is where the art of cutting and trimming comes into. See, when it comes to video editing, if you know how to organize your footage on your timeline, you know how to cut and trim, you know how to cut and trim, you've mastered transitions, and you know the right kind of effect to apply to your video. Trust me, you're already good to go, right? So once imported, you can cut and trim unwanted sections to maintain a smooth flow. Then the next thing is transitions and effects can then be applied to enhance visual appeal. The only reason why we add extras to video is to enhance visual appeal, to keep people engaged, is to keep people glued, and to keep people entertained if need be, right? So keep your edits clean and avoid unnecessary effects that might distract people from the story you're telling. A lot of times people now over amplify their effects inside their video, and before you know, we're like, okay, what's it's just it's just a whole bunch of effects everywhere, but we've lost out on the message. So you want to ensure your edits are clean, you are not going overboard, you are putting the right colors, using the right fonts, right, and your messaging is still being maintained. All right, so it's super important that I share this, right, before we go into the practice mode. So, to make your video more engaging, consider adding text and graphics such as subtitles and lower thirds, right? So, subtitles and lower thirds, music and sound effects play a vital role in setting the mood. So, a lot of times you would want to, especially depending on the kind of video you are creating, you want to add a background sound, right? Just to set the mood, but always ensure you use royalty free audio to avoid copyright issues, right? Then color corrections and filters can be used to maintain a consistent aesthetic and enhance the overall visual quality of your video. So when you are editing your video, you want to also maintain a particular color correction or filter. Like you also want to consider branding the style of your video content, right? If you're a content creator who takes branding seriously, you want to also consider, aesthetics. How do I want my videos to consistently look? That is something that you can also think of, right? So to make your video more engaging, just consider adding text, graphics, elements here and there, just to keep it engaging. It's super important. You don't want to shoot a video and leave it like that. Remember, it's a competitive age we're in. Social media is a highly competitive zone. People are not smiling anymore. Gone are the days when we'll be like, okay, start with what you have. Right now, we still say start with what you have, but get what you need faster. Like find a way to get what you need to ensure that you are putting out your best quality work out there. Then finally, exporting and sharing your video, right? Once editing is complete, it's time to export your video. So choose the right resolution, which is 720p for basic videos, 180p for high quality social media content, and 4K for professional grade projects, right? I personally like to shoot in 4K and download in 4K, but the downside of that is that your mobile is going to be full. Your mobile is going to suffer for it. Your space storage is going to definitely suffer for it. But I think you can stick to 108 and 1080p, right, for high quality social media content, so that by the time you upload on Instagram or on any of these platforms, it would not degrade the quality. Do not further degrade the quality. So another thing you need to consider when it comes to exporting and sharing your video is that you need to consider the platforms you are putting your content. Instagram has its own size, YouTube has its own size, TikTok also has its own size. So you want to optimize your content with proper descriptions and SEO friendly captions, right? You just want to ensure that your content, the video you're creating, is optimized for the platform that you intend to share it on. So that is basically it. I just wanted to share briefly about what you need to know about video editing, the things you need to know. Start with ensuring that you are getting your cuts right. Like you need to be able to cut your videos well, and you need to be able to understand the art of paying attention to detail, creativity, having the right mindset. Remember, you're always telling a story with your content, right? Understanding how to use the different softwares. Again, CapCut, in short, is what I recommended. And then when it comes to enhancing your videos, you need to know the right text, the right graphics, always put your subtitles, and so on and so forth. So right about now, we're just going to be diving into, a bit of practical on how to use CapCut to do basic video editing. All right, see you on the other side.